Graphing piecewise functions can be very tricky, so I am going to try to do one more here, one more. Let's see, we've got a linear equation to start, We want to observe that. So this is a down 2/1 sloping line that starts at the y-intercept of 1, that's mx plus b. And we're going to use that line for x values between -3 and 1. I make note that it's hollow, can't be equal at 1. It looks like when x is 1, the output, the y-coordinate is 2, so that's just a dot. Sometimes this could be a line, a horizontal line, so keep that in mind. And then this last one is just the parent parabola. That's that parent U shape, and we're going to use it for x is greater than 1. X is greater than 1. I encourage you to find the key points early. Find the key points first, and then use the type of each graph to connect the dots. So connect the points. I say dots. Let's take a look at -3 first. What happens at -3? If I was to evaluate the function at -3, I would use the restrictions at the top, and notice that I have to put it in the first function, and so I'll plug it into there. That looks like 6. -2 times 3 is a 6 plus 1. That's a 7. So at -3, I have an output of 7, and I do notice it's a solid dot. So I'm going to put a solid dot there. The reason I notice it's solid is, again, it says it's equal or greater than -3. Let's look at what happens at the other side of that endpoint. Let's look at f of 1. F of 1, even though that if I was to plug and chug and evaluate f of 1, technically I would have to say the answer based on this line right here is that it's 2. But I still need to know where this linear graph is at x equal 1. So even though by the restrictions I'm not supposed to evaluate 1 with that one, I need to do a little scratch work with that. So I'm just going to bring that down here. I'm going to label it as y equal, because this is just a little scratch work of where is the linear equation's kind of end point? Where does this one end at x equal 1? What is the y value there? And so if you evaluate this, you get -2 plus 1, and that is -1. So I'm going to go to that dot. X is 1. X is 1. I evaluated when x is 1, and I got y is -1. So let's go find that dot. And this time I'm going to put a hollow one here. And that's because I'm technically not supposed to evaluate it there. You can't be there. So my first set of answers is this linear equation that goes from the solid dot to the hollow dot. That's my first one. You can connect the line now if you want. The next piece of the graph, and remember this is in pieces, huh? The next piece of the graph is just the dot. At f of 1, as I already wrote, the input that I would get, or the output I would get, is 2 for the input. That's an xy point of 1, 2. So they're basically saying if you have to plug in a 1 and x equal 1, you're going to get a 2. You won't use either the equation or above or the equation below. You won't use the -2x plus 1. You won't use x squared. You're just going to plot a dot. All right, now I need to know where the parabola starts. I know the parabola, okay, is just a 0, 0 vertex and then a U shape up. And I'm going to use the part that starts at 1 and goes up. So I'm going to plug and chug a 1 into that equation. That's not a function evaluation, so I'm going to do it with scratch work. If x equals 1 on the parabola, comma, y equals 1 squared, so that is 1. So that's the dot 1, comma 1. And it is hollow right there. It is hollow right there. Again, I know it's hollow because it said on the parabola that it can't be equal to 1. By that inequality sign, it says just greater. And now I'm going to try to draw a parabola. You can sketch one in if you want to get a couple of key dots. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to plug and chug a 2 into the parabola, okay, into x squared. That would be 4, so we can get another dot right here. And you can plug and chug a few more and then try to just draw that U-shaped curve. All right, I got a line that comes straight down to the hollow dot. I got then a curve off of that same dot. Interesting, huh? And it curves up. I'm trying to draw a curve, a U shape. I know it looked like a linear. I apologize. Okay, the first one's a line and that other one is part of a U. It would technically look like this if it was the rest of the parabola. So just so you know. I think that's it. I'm David. I hope that has helped.